think we are live. Where did Blake just go? Blake, we're starting. Okay. Yeah, I got it up. So we're gonna get started in like a minute. I'm just gonna leave you on the phone so that it's just easier. I just needed you to leave.
Huh? That's all I needed. Huh? Got it.
All right, folks, we're gonna get started. So we have Andrew on conference call so that he can interact. We have Sonimod and Naya live streaming. So you ladies can just text me on WhatsApp for anything that you want to interact with. But welcome to the prep. We're going to get started. We had some technical difficulties getting this up just because I'm not used to, technology when it comes to this. So let's get an update on office searching. This is really for Blake and Andrew. So Andrew, you called me yesterday regarding your office. I was running training, so I wasn't able to answer. But what do we have with? Did you call her yesterday by any chance?
I did not. I can call her today. Well, I don't know if she'll be available today, but I didn't call her yesterday. I wasn't sure. I didn't talk to her this morning, so I'll call her again today.
Yeah, she had just sent me the email, so I don't really. I didn't reply. I sent it to Jeff, and he's at a conference today, so I'm sure we'll get back to her on Monday. And then Andrew, when are you? I'm just writing all this stuff down. When are you coming down officially to Miami?
Like a week after, like a week into April, so like April 7th or 8th or something like that.
All right, perfect. Perfect. And then Blake, you're out soon, right?
Yeah, I'm basically my last day of class is technically the 29th of March. So after that, I'm just basically good. As far as the office searching, I have about 13 leads. I just got Gavin scheduled, so he's gonna help me look at for spaces around Tuesday, between I believe 12 and 2. So I'm just going to just send him the top prospects and just go from there. About 3 or 4.
All right, sounds good. So, all right, so let's get going. I have some thoughts to share, but I really just want to dive into the information, because it's interesting where we are right now as a division, and Andrew and Dwayne, you can probably relate the most because you both run your own office. But the summer has already begun. Really, it is March, but we have this prep. We have kill meeting in a week or two, not even. And that's really when it starts becoming more real, because that's when Jeff lays out the whole calendar. He lets you know when SC2 and SC1 is. It's pretty intense. And what I recommend, anything that you don't know by now, there's not really a point in trying to learn it, because it's kind of like just get good at what you already know already. It just there's not. You guys are running out of time. You have office searching, you have setting up. You have set up so many things. Plus, you probably want to sell a little bit too, just to increase your startup as much as you can. But anyway, anything that you don't already know, it is what it is. And Dwayne had mentioned, we do have the support of videos that you guys can put in your training and whatnot. But you just want to feel really confident going into the summer, and that's going to help with knowing what you already know. So between now and I would say between now and kickoff, what you want to try to do is be as airtight as possible. Lock down furniture spaces. You don't want to be worrying about furniture when you're at your office. You want to already have that taken care of. the office searching is the main priority right now. So ideally leases are locked up by the end of this week. We already have Andrew's halfway there. We'll see what we can do. Dwayne, how's your office searching going?
I'm going to Atlanta Monday. Looking at spaces there. So
Nice. Getting that going too. And then, Blake, you're a little bit behind, but I'm pretty confident we can get that done by this week. So get office spaces locked down. What I highly recommend, we'll talk about internet setup later, and didn't he talk about that on the call yesterday, right? When I branched, there was a branch in South Miami that he did not check about internet until it was too late, and it took a month for him to get internet in his office. So all of May, he was running off a hotspot. So he spent a lot of money and lost a lot of recruits. So trust me, it is a real thing. And even if they do provide internet in that office, it takes 3 weeks to set up. So if you're planning on opening May 1st, the latest that you need to have it start setting up with is the first week of April, which is in 2 weeks. So you guys are gonna get going on this. But anyway, it's definitely going to be exciting. I'm sure, now that you know your territories and you're planning out your office and you're learning the streets and the names, you're thinking about things like team names, and you're thinking about, you're envisioning how your team is. And it's cool, one summer to the next. So it's just, you can see the difference between all the first timers and the second timers. Andrew's really envisioning, this is exactly how I want my office to go. This is exactly what I want my team to look like. This is how many people I want to bring in. This is what I want to do. As a first-time branch, you're just like, I just need a space. I just need a room. I just need to get in there. So it's, it's definitely cool, but just, again, at the end of the day, you're not really going to know what you're doing till about halfway through the summer, if that, So it really is, a matter of just feeling really confident and then just feeling good about what you know already. So anyway, let's get a round of what's hot, would appreciate. Sony Mud and Naya, if you could just WhatsApp what's hot, would appreciate to me, that'd be fine. So let's get what's hot, would appreciate, and then we'll get started with reviewing the Big Five. So Blake, why don't you kick us off?
All right, so what's hot is I'm pretty confident about the office spaces that I have as far as for Gavin to check out. Basically has everything that we asked for.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a demo right after this. So I appreciate his water.
Okay. Okay, Dwayne?
What's hot is it's March Madness, and even though Michigan State lost and that was my pick to win, I'm still first place in the pool of people that I'm playing against. So there's that. And what I appreciate is my circle of influences that I have in the Georgia division, because I will be there soon.
There you go. Then Andrew, what's hot, would you appreciate?
Yeah, what's hot is Cat Freshman this week, and I'm just really going and planning out everything, like every aspect of my summer. And what I appreciate Tallahassee office.
Nice. You've been getting a lot of energy from them, or just practicing a lot of stuff, or?
A little bit. I mean, yeah, I just appreciate the support.
Good.
I'm in a lot of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Circle of influence. So, we have a quick video that Jeff wanted us to watch, but due to the late start, I don't know if we should watch it. And for those of you live streaming, it doesn't really. It's not really gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able to see it if I just point my computer at it. So we'll just.
I can just click the link and watch it on mine.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Let me get the link here. All right. So Naya and Sony Mod, I'm just gonna send you the link to your WhatsApp so that you have it. By the way, I just discovered WhatsApp. What?
FinderMinds.com.
Yeah, that one. Oh, you already have it?
It was sent out in the itinerary just.
Oh, he put it on the agenda. That's why.
Yeah.
I can't copy it. There we go.
Yeah, we have to download it.
There we go. I just discovered WhatsApp for your computer, and it's the greatest thing ever.
Wait, WhatsApp is on the computer?
Yep, you can do it on the computer. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Changes everything.
It really does.
WhatsApp always stops working on my phone because I lose my
Well, your phone does need to be connected at the same time. But I can like type if I'm gonna do like a big message to the team, for example, or to whoever. It just makes things so much easier. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, and I just realized since I'm on the phone, my WhatsApp is not connected. So let's switch Wi-Fi's. Here we go. Oh, got it. So I just got all the WhatsApp messages right now, and Alemi is watching us too. Cool. Naya says, "What's hot? I'm moving up the first ever district office in the U.S. Virgin Islands." Heck yeah, and the weather's pretty great there. All right, so it is not finding the post. Andrew, did you load the video?
No.
Because it's not. I'm copying the link. Does not work.
The link does not work?
Nope. I'm doing it one more time. Yeah, no, it's not on there.
Oh, it's a sorry, no post were found. That's great. You can do,
That's great. That's fine. The bigger the adversity, the greater the reward. All right. So anyway, yeah.
I was just going to Google it real quick to see if it comes on different. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no, it doesn't do it.
Okay, no, actually, I did find it.
You did?
Yep, and even that link is broken. Crap. Alright, never mind.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not there anymore.
All right, sorry guys, can't learn how to close the integrity gap. Your office is screwed. I'm just kidding. So I've seen the video before, and it basically says, the integrity gap, and the concept of arete. And I'm not gonna go into it a lot, but it basically says if I were to do blank daily ... So it's kind of like if you were to have your perfect day, your perfect life, your perfect everything by doing X, Y, and Z, you would accomplish that thing, So it's such a simple concept, but, so many times we get caught up with, running an office, with, maintaining our personal life, with school, with, with anything. And you forget to take care of yourself, or you forget to just do the simple things that do make a difference, that close that integrity gap. So what I've learned is, at the end of the day, and I know Jeff has been stressing this a lot lately, this past year, is that, if you don't take care of yourself, right, your personal life and your business life pretty much, goes down the toilet. So if you were to do blank every day, do that exercise with yourself every once in a while. And I personally like to journal in the mornings, so that you can plan out your day. Like, hey, if I do this today would be great. If I do blank today would be great, et cetera, et cetera. So we don't really need to spend too much time on that. I really want to get to the technique, not the talent part of the prep. Okay. So Jeff wants me to set up the cap dates with you guys. Did he set that up on the Friday call?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's already done.
Yeah.
So we're going to review the business plan. So if you guys can take out your business plans, that would be great. And then, so for Alemi, Sonimar, and Naya, if you have any questions on the business plan, now would be the time to just be aware of that, so you can WhatsApp me any questions that you might have. So pull up your business plans. Let me get mine out as well. And we're going to walk through it And I know there's a lot of numbers. So I want to teach you guys how to get writing numbers. Right, and what you don't want to do for the cap session, you don't want to not be prepared. Right, you want to have everything good to go. Jeff doesn't really want to teach you how to get the numbers. He wants to have the numbers already there, and so he can analyze them with you. That'd be the ideal thing. So does everyone have the business plan up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, give yours.
I can access mine through my email, but I can just look it up.
Okay. Andrew, do you have yours up?
Yeah, I like computer. I'm just gonna grab my pen up because I haven't been at all.
That's fine. It's your second time doing it too. All right, so Naya, I got the thumbs up from you. Alemi and Sony Mar, if you can just send me a quick thumbs up. Let me know you have your business plan. That'd be great. But let's dive in. So you guys have it on your phones?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first part, summer mission, right? What is it you're out to achieve this summer? What are your goals and dreams for the office? And this falls under the talent, right? Not the technique part. But why do you guys think it's a benefit to kind of have the why behind why you're running this office? Why is that beneficial for you guys?
And when stuff hits the fan, you can go back to that, and that can just be your motivator to keep going.
That's exactly why, because stuff will hit the fan, and you will feel like crap at one point, if not many points, you know. And it's kind of like if you're doing your job right, nothing's going perfect, which is ironic. So, you know, you really want to be as specific as possible. There was a branch one time that he, you know, thought about exactly how his summer was going to go. He's like, I'm going to have this many people. I'm going to have this many AGL people. I'm going to have this many 10K fast starters. And it was kind of scary how it literally happened exactly the way that he said it would happen, you know? And that doesn't always happen, but it's a cool exercise to go through. So for Andrew and Dwayne, did you guys have any questions on the case for growth? I don't know if Jeff covered that with you guys.
He didn't cover it with me, but I'm not having a cap with him, so.
I meant on the, I guess the Trey. Is Trey going to cover that?
You should.
Then Andrew, are you doing a case for growth? Because I know you're switching territories.
Yeah, kind of. Like I'm doing it, yeah.
Okay, did you have any questions on that, or did Jeff go over that with you?
We pretty much went over the cap or like the stuff that we're doing, but I mean, I think the most part I got the
gist of it.
for growth.
Okay.
Although it is kind of like relative, like I don't know like how you actually like perform it like on the business plan, or you can do a separate. I guess like a separate document.
Well, it happens to be on the 2016 business plan, like, oh, what's your case for growth? So that's why I mentioned it. But it's definitely a separate document, though. Like I have a whole document on it. So yeah, you guys want to go over your biggest areas of opportunity? What did you learn from last summer? I don't think I need to really go through that. It's pretty much self-explanatory. Right, everything else is pretty much that. So let's go through the part that really applies to you guys. Starts last summer results. It doesn't necessarily mean your summer results. It means that territory's last summer results. So if you're a first-time branch, do either of you know how to find out, for example, the number of PR touches? Well, yeah, obviously it's on Vector Live, but like, how do you see it? Like, do you know?
Yeah, so you would go to Vector Live, and then you would go to reports, and then you would go to you said PRs.
Yeah. So specifically, if you look at the business plan, it says non-PR touches. So it's basically all the PR stats.
Didn't have a territory last year. East Atlanta wasn't a thing last year.
East Atlanta wasn't even.
No.
I don't even know how to answer that. So sorry. I guess the only thing would be I would say another part. Nah, I don't know. I would say like another part of Atlanta, but you can maybe get an average because aren't there like 4 offices in Atlanta?
6 hours.
6?
Now there's 6 with East Atlanta.
Maybe get like a good average of all. Well, with you'd be the 6th one, right?
Yeah, I'm the 6th one.
So get the average of all 5.
Does that include the 2 private offices?
Maybe not. Maybe not. They're a little bit up there. All right, Blake, what were you saying?
Yeah, so you go to reports, and then you would go to okay.
You make sure that everyone can see this.
Okay.
On here.
So then you would go Florida Caribbean, then afterwards you would underneath look for the office that you were in. So for me, it was like North Miami. And then
let me zoom in. All right. So
then you click North Miami in my case.
no, you go to Port Charlotte in your case.
Oh, okay.
So first you have to go here
Okay.
to the dates, and you have to move
happened.
it back. So any numbers that you guys are gonna get, you have to go to 2015. You go to campaign 2.
Or do I just go back to like a year that there was an East Atlanta office?
Yeah.
Okay.
If there ever was one.
Last summer, but
Yeah.
2014 era.
So you have to go to the office that you want, right? So let's say that, we're looking at South Miami last summer. You have to go to advertising statistics, which is right up here. You have to go to ad source, and you go to PR's personal recruit. And then you put get report. So that should bring up all of the statistics on the PRs for that one. So last summer's results, and then total mailer recruits. Anything that says like Craigslist recruits, for example, mailer recruits, web recruits, you can find that on advertising statistics. You just have to change it from personal recruit to mailer, et cetera, et cetera. And then, so let's say it's personal recruit. If we get report, it's asking, so for example, it'll ask like how many recruits did you have? You have to go all the way over here where it says launch. You go all the way to the bottom. Right, this is 10. I think that's not right. Oh, I didn't change the date again. That'd be what you do. Right, so the number launch. Cool. So sales goal for the summer. This is where it gets a little bit more complicated. Andrew, when you did your business plan last year, or even this year, did you start with the recruits or did you start with the sales?
Yeah, I think I think you start with like your projected sales goal, and then, I don't know. There's 2 ways to do it. You don't want like to be like, you want to just make sure the number that's being adjusted is like always recruits.
Yeah.
As in like if you have a good sales goal, but
Mm-hmm.
now then you adjust the recruits accordingly to that sales goal, basically, because that's the number you want to focus on. So, or you can just have a set number that you want to focus on recruits, and that's your goal, and then it just happens to produce the sales number, and that could be one way too. But
Exactly.
you just want to make sure, obviously adjusting, saying I'll get these recruits, and then using PPR and things like that to adjust your sales, because you want the thing you can impact the most is recruits.
Yeah. So I think the easiest way is recruits to sales, but he's completely right. You can do sales to recruits. It's kind of like if you want to ship them out, you have to make sure that you have X amount of recruits. So you could technically do either way. But what helps is if you know the amount of touches for your territory. So Andrew, have you done, because I can just use you as an example and just kind of do your numbers right now. Do you know have you researched like the touches that you'll probably get? Have you researched the touches that you're probably going to get in Miami?
Like mailers and stuff?
No, just overall touches, period.
No, I honestly don't know the touch number that I'm going to get.
Okay, that's cool. So I'm going to use Kathy's office from the summer of 2014, and we're going to get a fraction of that.
It was,
to get your,
I'm glad you had it. Let me double check what my other document I was working on.
yeah, because that'd be the most accurate one, I feel. Because at that point, there was a North Miami office, there was me, and there was her. So she had 2,700 touches, it says here. Oh wait, no, that's South Miami. That was my touches. Let's go to
Yeah.
let's go to Miami. Here we go. Yeah, it seems a little bit more. So you're gonna get you're not gonna get as much as her. She had 7,500. So, and a lot of those were PRs as well. You know, if we look at how many were PRs from that, it'd be probably, you know, at least half of the touches.
40. It's 4,200. 4281. So PR touches.
Is her PR touches. So that leaves us with
For
about
2014.
yeah, 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so for you, I would say the forecast. So the forecast, when you guys are doing your business plan, the forecast is always a low number. Projection is what, you know, you should and do, and then the goal is it's kind of like the one that's slightly above. So I would say on the absolute low end, you can probably count on at least 2,000 touches. Do you want to use that number? Or do you want to use 2,500? Andrew.
Again?
I'm gonna do your forecast right now, like just as a live example.
It's at 2,500.
You want to do 2,500 or 2,000 touches to count on?
I'm gonna do 2,500.
Okay.
I have all that like right here, but
You already have it.
calculated.
Okay.
So
Just for the sake of other people. So okay, so I'll do it, and then you see if your numbers match up. So reach percentage. You guys tell me what's the reach percentage that receptionist should have. 90%. Yeah. So if he does 2,500, what you do is you multiply 2,500 times 0.9. So he should reach 2,250 of the 2,500. And how many should they schedule?
Oh, sorry about that. The schedule percentage?
Yeah, schedule percentage.
Like 70?
Nope,
90?
90%.
Oh, crap. Excuse me.
90%. So of the 2,250 he reaches, he should schedule 2,025. And then what's the show?
60.
55% show. But it's the forecast. So this is how you can do your business plan. You can either, like, I'm going to keep his numbers pretty consistent. But like if it's, this forecast is like the worst case scenario. So
Okay.
Andrew, when you're doing your numbers, you can be like, all right, well, what if I don't get a good show? What if he gets like a 45% show? So you could adjust your numbers accordingly. I'm going to use 55 just for the sake of, I already put it in my calculator. But if you wanted to, you technically could change that percentage around. And what I recommend, do you guys see where it has like the word? Next to that, I would write the percentage that you're going to use. Because Jeff is going to ask you, oh, what percentage did you use here? What percentage did you use there? And you don't want to be like, oh, I don't know. Right? So kept. Andrew, your kept is going to be a little bit lower than Mboka. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, like 60%.
Yeah. So for example, forecasts, I'd use 60, but for your projection, you can probably use 70. Because if you're doing better, that means that you're going to have, you know, better quality recruits because of the like the PRs. You get me?
Right.
So if we do that number times 60%, that's 667 recruits. That's scary how it like drops down so far. And then you'll sign 90% of those. 601. Right, and then Andrew, what's your show to training?
You can do, I guess, like 50.
I think 50 is a pretty solid one. As a branch, you should have at least 50 because you're the owner. So your show's usually higher. What was your show as a branch?
Actually, last year my show was 43%.
43. Okay. So you want to use 40 on the low end?
Yeah, I mean, I would just do. I mean, it'd probably be better, but you can just do 4. You can keep the 40, 45, whatever.
Let's do 45 then. It's 45% show. That is 270 recruits. And then if we launch, are you pretty good at launching everyone, or because the do you guys know the average launch?
Mine was
Average launch is about 70. It's about 60, but it should be closer to 70. I launch about 80, 85. You know, so it really just depends.
Yeah, my launch was 65%.
65.
65 or
All right,
70.
let's use 65. Let's just keep it the bare minimum. So it's 175 recruits. All right, so you should have about 175 launch out of 2,500 signed. So that ends up being, so to get the TPL means touches per launch. So to get that, you just divide 2,500 by 175. So he has 14 touches per launch, which is right around. That's like very efficient, apparently. It's pretty average. All right, Sony Mud, she has a question. Let me see. So the number we write down is the launch number or the touches number. What do you mean, Sony Mud, the number you write down? Like the number you write down on the sales? I will probably answer that question in a second. I think there's a lag. All right, so we just put 175 recruits that Andrew's going to have. I would say if you really want to keep it conservative, Andrew, that's actually more than the average branch. So if you really want to keep it conservative, you can, like, when you go back to sales, you could put like 120 recruits, you know. But according to these numbers, if you have 2,500 touches, you should have 175 recruits, which is pretty exciting. So
yeah,
it's up to you. Sony Mod. Oh no, she didn't write anything. Okay, cool. So Andrew, for your sales goals, I'm just going to use the 175 recruit, but I recommend to shoot lower than that, just in case. So PPR, just so you guys know, do you guys know what an average PPR is? 500? No.
No, I'm sorry. One.
So,
Yeah, 1,000.
I wouldn't even say 1,200. 1,200 is
Okay,
a pretty solid PPR. For example, Jeff's PPR is like almost $3,000. Like that's considered very, very good, mind you. He was also the #1 new business in the entire region. So he keep that in mind too. But 1,200 is a solid PPR. I would say 1,000 is a very conservative PPR. I recommend when you do it, use 1,000. Yeah. So according to this, what would you say?
I was gonna say to put mine at 2,000. Do you think that's too high? I mean, I did over 2,000 last summer. Obviously, we'll put down if I have more recruits, but I'm also trying to raise it up.
Yeah. I wouldn't go higher than 2. I would say use 1,500. You know, just to be safe.
Okay.
And you'll probably get higher than 15, but when you're projecting, you kind of want to be like because when he does your profit, you don't want to like not profit because your numbers were higher, you know. So let me put that here. All right, so 1,500 for Andrew. So that means that according to this, if he has 175 recruits, his branch should do 262. So let's do 260 on the low end. Andrew, do you know if you're gonna get any return business? Like, I don't know if you've reached out to any old Miami reps.
I mean, I was before I moved to Miami.
Okay. So we'll just put that you have 0 return business.
Yeah.
For right now. And then personal sales, what do you want to put yours at?
You can just say
10?
5.
5?
10.
Yeah, the more your branch sells, the less you sell personally usually. But
Yeah.
I'll put at least 5K from you or 7,500. That means according to this, your branch should do about 260, 270. So I know he's gunning for the silver, so it means if he's going to get the silver, that's probably not going to cut it. So he's going to need, so that's the forecast on the projection. You can adjust your numbers accordingly, right? And then what's cool about the touches, there's only so much you can control, but what can you control with the touches? PRs, yeah. So that's the next part of the business plan. So I'm not going to do the rest of it. You would just increase the numbers. So I would say increase the amount of touches, and then the launch number will change, and then you move that launch number up there. So Neymar, if I did not answer your question, let me know. Shoot me a quick text, and I'll see what I can do to answer that for you. So you do write the touches and the launch. It's just two different sections. All right. So let's make sure that you guys can see. Okay. So the next part is efficiency. So I would go through what the territory did last year versus what you want. Right? I'm not going to spend too much time on that. All right, so building a big SC1 push. So you guys aren't really selling for the month of April, so that question doesn't apply. All right, so you really start the next part over here. What are the key points you promote to the summer and the SC1 push to your current spring team? Well, not that one. So this is all spring related. All right. So when you're mapping out your SC1 push goal, right? You start over here. So your first seminar should be this week, the May 5th week, right? Because summer starts May 1st. So that's really where your business plan starts, right here. So if you're going to get to your territory earlier, right? Like Blake, you can get to your territory the first week of April. Andrew, you'll be here in a couple weeks as well. Do you know when you're going to get?
Probably as soon as possible.
ASAP, okay? So you could be like Robbie, he got to his territory a month prior. He had, I think, 12 people or more in his first training seminar ever. That's really going to help. So you can really rank up that set number pretty high, right? And then so what you want to do, okay, so you guys see where it says Monday ship up?
Mm-hmm.
The 5/9 ship up, how many days is that going to include? So if you're running your first training seminar, 5/9 is Monday, right? If your first trainees are launching Saturday the 7th, it's only going to include 2 days, right? So that should be easy. It should be a few $1,000s, if that, you know, because it's your first training. For you, it's your first training seminar ever. Andrew and Dwayne, you guys haven't run one in a while. So then the 16th, that's really your first full week, and you're going to have a launch, right? So, but what do you have to account for that one? See how much you guys know.
What do we have to account for?
Mm-hmm. So let's say you launch 5 people here, all right? And over here you launch 5 people, right? So yeah, it's a total of 10. But so if you launch 5 people from here, are all of them going to stick around the week after? There's always going to be drop off. So it's not always like, all right, I sold 2K, now I'm going to sell 6K. Like you might, but you want to account for the drop off. So the numbers should be pretty steadily increasing. But then over here, the 23rd, you already have 2 weeks under your belt, and you're probably getting better too as a trainer. So you could justify maybe from the 23rd to the 31st, you could double. And that happens a lot in the summer. You really go from 10 to 20K like nothing. And then some people have gone from like 5K to 20K. It happens all the time. So that'll help you figure out your total for May. Right? So then these are all pretty self-explanatory. Right? So it says, what is your goal for PRs in May? That is going to come from, so this question right here, what's your goal for PRs in May? That question is going to come from these numbers. So if you're going to launch 5, how many PRs should you get?
Like on average, like 500.
You should be averaging 100.
Yeah, per person.
Right? So if you're averaging 100, so you have 500 names. Let's say you have 3 receptionists, you should schedule X amount of PRs. And then you're gonna have post PRs too these couple weeks here. So you can use that. But Jeff is really going to walk you through your PR hours. That's the main thing. Because you can have like 2,000 names, but if you only have 10 hours, if you're PR calling for 10 hours, how many PRs should you have?
In total, like 30.
20 to 30.
20 and 30.
20 and 30. Right? So I believe Jeff is covering your hours in your cap. I was just saying 10,
No,
just for
Yeah, just
Oh,
for
math.
Yeah.
You're not only gonna have 10 PR hours, you're gonna have more. Right. So he should cover your PR hours, or Beth should have, it's one of two. He's either gonna go over that with you, or Beth is going to have a group session with all of you, giving you different models. So if you're in a certain model, you're gonna get certain hours. So your DRM is Charlotte, or yeah, is it Charlotte or Mar? Okay, yeah, Charlotte's great. All right, so I would start Facebook ASAP. That is such a game changer for you guys, right? Because you don't even have to be in your territory and you can start advertising. So I would start going to Port Charlotte High, to, I don't know, even know the schools over there, and start adding people there on Facebook, just to start building your friends base. And then April 4th is D-Day. You're going to start Facebook blasting. Okay. You could even run steroid interviews. Okay. So Jeff is going to cover when your steroid, he's going to go over your whole schedule. He should do that in a group. If I know him, because everyone for the most part is going to have the same schedule. So he'll tell you when your steroid interviews will happen. Okay. You guys don't have any assistants. All right. So SC1, do you guys know what the average branch says for SC1? Or what a like solid report is? Double digits for sure. 10, 20, 20 is solid. Because it's only 2 weeks. And you're still building. So this, you can kind of take an educated guess based on what?
Based on what you
What you launched earlier, which is right up here. All right, because SC1, I believe, this is the end of May. SC1 push starts that week of June. The first week of June, that's when high school hits. Right? So, attendance, don't get too stuck on that number. You want to try to bring everybody. Hey.
Hey, I don't know what happened. You just stopped talking.
It just hung up. I thought you probably had to do something, so it's fine. All right, so SC1 attendance, don't get too fixed on that number, right? I've seen people bring the smallest amount ever, and their office does, really, really well for the summer. I've seen someone bring a bunch of people, and their office, doesn't really do as well. Like it goes either way. You obviously want to try to bring every single person on your team. I would aim to bring at least 10. That can be pretty solid. If you have 8, that's pretty good too as a branch. All right, but whatever does end up happening, it doesn't necessarily mean, it's kind of like, until SC1, it's kind of like your first weekend as a sales rep, right?
Okay.
And then SC1 is advanced training. You get me? So All right. So are you guys gonna have a Lions for SC1? Yes, you are.
Like-
Yes, you are. All right, so high schools, you already have this. Don't worry about that. All right, advertising plan, I'm not going to cover that. And then Jeff is going to cover the dates in the kill meeting. All right. Mailers, everyone is different, so I'm not going to cover that right now. All right. So any questions on the business plan? Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. I mainly needed to walk you through how to get the numbers, but any questions?
Pretty easy. Just use Excel for like the.
For that, yeah, but for
Yeah.
this is more so, and you definitely want to do, so everything up after this is all applies to you. Before it was kind of, all right. So, cash flow management. Do all of you know how your startup is going to be getting released? They do it in increments, right? So whatever you have liquid right now, liquid is your bank account. I would go off that as much as possible. Your startup can be released on a like need to basis, right? You want to be very, very, very frugal, obviously. And the company will start because you get $6,000, right? You get $9, I think. Yeah. You get $6,000 from the company. They will give that to you.
After you do the.
Well, yeah, you need your opening form.
Yeah.
You need your maps and everything. We'll cover maps in a second. But they will start releasing to you on a weekly basis at least $1,000. So what I'm going to recommend, if you feel that your office is doing well, right? So let's say Andrew's kicking butt first week of May, second week of May, and he's going to get that $1,000 sent to him. Talk to Jeff. I'm not going to, because the situation is the boss at the end of the day. You can talk to Jeff, and if he feels that you're good financially, you don't need that $1,000, the company will keep it in your withholding so you don't see it. Because if you see it, what'll probably happen? You'll spend it, right? So like my PACE bonus, I get that every month. If we're doing well and I don't really need it, I'll be like, hey, you know what? Put that PACE towards withholdings. You know, I'd rather not see it right now, so that you can start, you know, building your finances. You might need it. I use mine as it came. The last time they sent me, it was like a huge chunk of like $3,000, and I felt so rich. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And I used a lot of it. So in hindsight, I didn't need it, you know, at that time. My office wasn't doing amazing, but I was, you know, pretty frugal, so I was saving money. But in hindsight, I probably should have emailed them, be like, you know what, send me half of that instead. Keep the other half. I'll use it when I need it, you know. So that's just my tip when it comes to that. All right. So in terms of getting your office and your opening form or anything like that, do any of you? Yeah, because we're supposed to cover the map, but none of you know where your office is.
Yeah.
So it's not really applicable. Right. So that's fine. But he's going to cover with you on your cap your profit point. You guys know what that means?
Like how much you need to sell in order to
Yeah.
make a profit.
So he's going to, based on the projections that we just did, he's gonna ask, hey, what are your projections? He's not gonna want to see like the whole business plan, but he's gonna look at the numbers. It's like, oh, I project on the low end, I'm gonna do this, on the high end, I'll do this, middle end, I'll do that. He'll use those numbers to help you figure out your profit point. But what he's gonna do, he's gonna figure out your expenses. So the number one expense is what? Receptionist. Right? He's gonna figure out your receptionist hours. He's gonna figure out with your office rent, anything you're gonna have expenses for, and then using that, he's gonna determine if you sell this much, then you'll start profiting that. So that number is very, very important. Okay. So let's do this. It's 11 o'clock now. Let's go over the receptionist program in terms of systems check. I'll put it on TV, and then after that, we'll take a break. Okay. And I have some dates for you guys as well. One second, let me pull it up. All right, so take out a sheet of paper or your laptops. All right, so you can write down your answers, and then we'll see out loud. So for those of you on live stream, this is what you're gonna want to pull up on the handouts. Right? The receptionist program, the receptionist efficiency. So there's a whole folder with receptionist efficiency, and then in that folder, what you want to do is you want to pull up the system check. It's the fifth. It's the fifth one. So Andrew, if you want to pull it up on your computer so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm showing these guys here live. So it's the fifth one. It says systems check recruiting efficiency quiz. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna cover the numbers, see what you guys know. We'll just take turns. I'll go Dwayne, Blake, Andrew, Dwayne, Blake, Andrew, and then we're gonna cover if the number, like if your numbers are off. So for example, if you have X show and you should be getting this show, how do you fix that? Like what does that mean? So that's what systems check means. So Dwayne, schedule percentage, 90%. Blake, SE percentage, Monday through Wednesday.
Monday through Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
45.
50%. 50%.
Okay.
You can write the first time. Andrew, do you know SE percentage for the cycle? What should that be?
You said FTE.
For the cycle, yeah.
55%.
35.
35.
You guys know why? Yeah, it's 50 Monday through Wednesday because you have later interviews, but then for the cycle it goes lower. Right?
Oh shit.
Yeah, because you don't really have a. Yeah, so when you're analyzing your numbers, and if you want, I'll send you what I use to plan my weeks so that you can like analyze your business as the summer progresses. I look at that sometimes. So Dwayne showed interview. At least 40. You want to aim for 50 to 60 for sure. But if you're getting lower than 40, something's
Yeah, that's
happening.
really bad.
Blake kept for interview.
Yeah.
Should be about 80%. Every territory is different. You know, so if you have like a metro territory, it'll be closer to 70. For us, it's usually 65, 70. You know, but in Boca, it's probably closer to 80, 85, you know. So, Andrew, how many should you sign for training? Evan.
So you guys said.
Yeah, how many should you sign for training?
How many did I sign for training?
No. What's the percentage that you should sign for training?
Oh, like 90.
Yep. Wayne, what's the
Is it
average
14?
touches per? That's what we calculated. Yeah, it's about 14 to 20 touches per sign per launch. Okay. So then show the training
55.
percentage. Show the training.
Oh, show the training 60.
Yeah. Okay. So show the interview. I'm sorry. I think I said show the training when I asked you.
Probably.
That's 55%. Show the training. The training is 40. When you said 60, I apologize. I was looking at something different. Good. And then, do you know the average launch percentage?
Usually 70.
Yeah, that's 70% launch. Okay. So let's do the system check. So for those of you that are on the virtual, what doc is that again? Can't seem to find it. You're gonna go to handouts, Naya. The handouts document, and then the handouts document. Just pull up the handouts. You're gonna go to the third one that says system check, and it's the fifth one, system check, receptionist efficiency. So for those of you that are virtual, I want you guys to chime in too. So you're gonna go to. So we're gonna go through each one, and if each one is off, how do we fix it? Right? What does that mean?
Okay.
So Sonimar, you can do the launch, right? So if the launch is off, how do you fix it? Alemi, you can do show to training. If show to training is off, how do you fix it? And then we're not going to do touches per sign. And then if the sign for training is off, Naya, you can do that one. Okay. So how do you fix schedule percentage?
Receptionist.
Well, obviously receptionist.
Oh,
but
but-
like-
yeah, just dive in with the
Dive
receptionist, see what
in,
they're
see
saying.
what
look at
they're
their-
Dwayne, and then
Oh.
yeah, so just
dive
Dwayne.
in with the receptionist, see exactly what it is that they're saying, if they're following the script, if their tonality is correct, like make sure
Voice
Voice
inflection.
Right. So if they're not actually scheduling them, script for sure.
That also they're asking them.
Right? And then also, if you've taken an IAP call before, which I know all of you have, there's like not interested. It's an IAP,
Mhm.
so why wouldn't
Wouldn't
they
they
be
be
interested?
Yeah.
Like very few IAPs are not interested. Jake Kuhn has a great message that we watched, the DM team watched, and he talks about just the overall expectation. So if your receptionists aren't expecting to schedule, what does that mean about them? Like they're not
They're
what?
not confident.
They're not confident. So how confident are your girls? So when you're hiring people, you don't really you want to stray from the receptionists that are meek, right?
Okay.
Like the ones that don't they're
Yeah.
kind of pushover. So you don't want to go through those. So Blake, how do you
Urgency.
yeah. So overall urgency, how do you build urgency with SDE?
So you can just say, hey, manager has. Well, I mean, God, there's so many. I guess the easy one is just saying that I can manager can just squeeze you in for today. I know you have X, Y, Z, and ABC going on, but this
Mhm.
gives you about X amount of time between then and then.
Mhm.
I can't guarantee anything next week or whatever.
What'll help too? Beth.
Beth.
Yeah. She'll always put urgency phrases on Facebook and stuff.
Okay.
So you can always change it up. I recommend whatever room you set up your receptionist in, have a board in front of them, and you can put a different urgency phrase every week. And also, are they confident, right? Allison, like, it'll be like 4:00. She's like, just got a same day for 6:15. What? Like, so a lot of receptionists aren't confident that if it's 4:00 that they won't come at
That's a
6:15.
lot of time
So
between.
they don't even ask sometimes.
Yeah.
So that'll really help. And then show to interview. Andrew, if your show to interview's off, how do you fix that? Kind of an easy one.
Your show.
Yeah, show to interview for the
Yeah,
receptionist.
The interview is off. You gotta kind of, first off, make sure you're like on script, I would say. Because it's easy once you're in the summer. Eventually, you like more and more things to get off the track. So making sure you're back on script, making sure that just things like it could be like just office setup.
Do you know the number one reason why people don't show?
the position?
Directions.
Oh yeah, directions.
Directions.
Show the interview. Oh, I was thinking show the training on that.
You know, every time I say show to interview, I think the same exact thing. Like, I was the same way.
Sorry, show the interview. Yeah, directions. I was helping my.
Yeah. As I said show to interview, I also thought show to training, and then I corrected my thinking of the process. That's fine. I thought the same thing. So yeah, directions. That helps, and then moving forward. Signed for training, that was supposed to be Naya. So Naya, and the next one show to training was Alemi, and then Sony Moore. If you guys can type out your answers, so that I just want to see if you guys know how to troubleshoot. So Sony Moore says for launch percentage, it'd be the consistency from what they were first told, and that could also be the script, right? So the launch, right? So you could have a big show to day one, but if your day one to day two drop off, that's interview, because you shouldn't have. Let's say you have 10 people in day one. If you have 5 people in day two, that means half of your people weren't clear. And maybe they were clear, but they didn't. It's not consistent, right? Which is what she says.
Can it also be like your intro talk? Just like off or something like that, or
Can be so many things. Intro talk helps because you pop fear bubbles. That helps too. Also, I mean, you guys tell me what are reasons people don't launch. The lack of consistency.
Yeah, the parents could, or they just get nicked out by other people.
Yeah, that's fear bubbles.
Yeah.
I would say. What else?
Lack of confidence. I guess that's another fear bubble.
they weren't aware that
Lack of connection.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So there's always that person you ignore. You can't ignore them. Right. Every single person, every name. Just try to say their name at least 3 to 5 times every time. Right. So connect with them. Make sure you're consistent. Now from day 2 to day 3, what's the reason?
Okay,
I
know what the price.
They're not comfortable with the price, so your value talk was off.
Yeah.
Also, what else?
phone jam.
So if you couldn't get them to average a lot of demos, now they don't feel what?
Confident.
They don't feel confident they're going to do
They
well.
can't do some terrible.
And then what's going to help you get a really good phone jam?
What's gonna help you?
As a trainer, help them. What's going to help you help them?
Making sure you have time to get the phone jam.
Okay. Yes. 100%.
PDI.
PDI too. PDI too. I'm more backtracking though.
Or before the end of.
Well, I mean, just teaching them.
Names list.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of names.
Then
They don't have a lot of people. So when they call, they only have X amount of people.
The day before.
And
Circle
then
of
one
life.
case, they really have 5 people. That's it.
Yeah. All right. So, Sony Moore, you're 100% correct. Show to training, still waiting on Alemi. And then sign for training, Naya so eloquently puts your interview skills. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, no, it really is a very easy question. But it's more so, I would say as an interviewer, if we're gonna be very specific, how confident you are in saying the information, right? Because there's this one part of the interview, right? You guys know it. What do we say? The training, the whole training's not paid for. I've literally heard people say, and training is not paid for, but you know, they don't have to pay for it either. And they say it's super weird. So it's just kind of like matter of fact, yeah, so training isn't paid for. You know, they don't have to pay for it either, but you know, so they do start getting paid as soon as they start doing their first few appointments. So I would say just confidence overall as an interviewer on top of the skills that you have in terms of the script, which is not hard to follow. And then no answer from Alemi. I'll probably get that soon. So cool. Let's do this. It is 11. It's almost 11:30. This is what else we have on the agenda. I want to spend a lot of time on the PDI scenarios. I feel like
Those
that's
are awesome.
yeah. Because you guys aren't really going to get a chance to practice PDI ever again. So I want to leave time for that. After this, we have kickoff meeting. We need to spend time on that. And then we have lunch. So let's do this. Let's take 5, stretch it out. Then we'll spend a good amount of time. We'll spend the next 30, 40 minutes on receptionist, kickoff meeting, that sort of thing. And then we'll go get lunch. And then we'll leave the last part for PDI. Cool.
Make sure you get the payment information. Period.
All right, sounds good. So Lemmy says for Shota training, to get better numbers, you need to make sure you and the receptionist are saying the same things. Yep, that is very, very true. And then work on the interview, obviously. My bad, I'm 4 minutes behind. That's fine. Sorry about that. Cool. All right, so Andrew, I'll call you back in about 5 minutes, okay? So let's say it's 11:35. We'll get started again. So I'm going to leave the broadcast up because I don't trust myself in stopping it. So, and I'm not going to put music on because then it's going to, yeah, it's going to mute the whole thing. So no music on this break. Oh. Silence. I am going to turn off the camera though. Hello? Hey, we're going on break, so I thought I'd just call you back. All right, bye. Need to get my charger. How's it like working with Trey? How's it like working with Trey?
I haven't really
All right, we're gonna get started, everybody. Sonimar, Alemi, and Naya, if you could WhatsApp me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're on this. Let me call Andrew real quick. Hey, we're gonna get started. So, everybody, is what we're gonna cover. We're gonna go over 2 more systems checks. We're gonna do the PR program in terms of the traditional and rep driven. So, more so, what are the keys of the PR program for every day? So, for example, day 1 of training, day 2 of training, et cetera, et cetera. And then we're gonna cover first 10-day management. Make sure you guys are on point with that. And then I say we go on lunch. Depending on what time we end, I'm thinking we just do kind of a working lunch so we can take like maybe 20 minutes to go get food. And then we have a few admin things to cover during lunch as well. Cool. So the way we're going to do this is Dwayne, you'll start us off day 1 of training. Then Blake, you're going to do day 2 of training. And Andrew, you're going to do day 3 of training. So Andrew, if you can have the document pulled up, that'll help. And then Sonimar, you're gonna do every interview. Naya, you're gonna do after team meeting. And then Alemi, you're gonna do team meeting. And if you can even just type type it on WhatsApp, and I'll read it when I get to it. Okay. So PR program, traditional and rep driven. What are the keys on day 1, Dwayne?
Day 1, traditional. From the interview, there's the interviews, right? Are we still talking about training?
Training.
Okay. There's the sign-in sheet or the sheet at the beginning.
Yeah, they do write on a sheet.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like when you're speaking, when do you talk about PRs?
Okay. Intro.
Intro talk, yeah. So what do you say?
I like recommend it's just depending on the story, I guess, that you give. Is like you mentioned PR somewhere in it.
Okay. There's one specific time you always want to mention PR. So do you know when that is? It's okay if you don't. Blake, do you know?
When you mentioned it in day 1?
Yeah.
It's not in the. It's not in the. Because you said specifically, it's not in the intro where you're like, who's referred, and blah blah blah. You're nothing like that, right?
Yeah, you do that,
that.
but it's another time where you explain what's gonna happen.
Oh, is it when you're doing the schedule walkthrough?
There you go.
Yeah, that's what
schedule walkthrough when you cover day 3.
Yeah.
You just mentioned how there's a cool bonus program that we do for those that are recommended for the team. Cool. So Blake, day 2 of training.
Day 2, is there? There's not a sheet that they sign or anything that's extra for. Okay, it's not that. Day 2 would be. That's the one I'm the most. I know day 1 and 3. Day 2 would be for PRs.
It's not a lot.
Yeah.
I would say the stop bys if anyone's recommended.
So
say that, and then the assignments have to do with merging your Facebook contacts. Why is that going to help you later?
Oh.
The app.
The app. No, I was saying app. I was doing.
I know. Now, Andrew, what do we do on day 3 that's important for PRs? Gee, I wonder.
I don't know.
That's all. Okay. And yeah.
Wait, no, you tell your reps the Facebook contacts on it too.
Yeah, hell yeah. I was a Facebook contact. Yeah. So I actually do that on day 2. I kind of like disguise it as like for phone jamming. I'm like, yeah, so you guys can have access to more numbers. And then it also benefits the PR talk because it's already merged, you know. And then ideally before the PR talk, the PR app is already downloaded.
Yeah, I always do that. I've done it at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
Really do like halfway through.
That can be one of the assignments for.
Yeah. So yeah, just to make sure that we're all on the same page for the PR talk. The levels are 40, 60, 80, 100. The 40 is a pen, 60 to 100 is the double credit for the first 3 days, and then 150 you go through a drawing for some kind of big prize. So for the 3 of you, I don't recommend spending a lot of money. What I recommend is find something that's cheap that you can easily get your people excited about. So you can do like a pocket knife, for example, an ice cream scoop.
You know if they ever did the thing with the butcher knife where they discounted it even more?
They probably will do something like that. I don't know. But whatever it is that you're gonna do, what I recommend, use it in training a lot. Like you know, melt the freaking ice cube in the ice cream scoop. You want to go all out. Maybe share stories about how one of your customers freaked out and you know how you managed to get 40 recommendations because you gave them an ice cream scooper. I don't know, like build it up the whole 3 days so that when you finally say it, be like, guys, I'm gonna give you the ice cream scoop, and they're like, oh my gosh. You know, so you don't really need to do fisherman solution. I always like to have at least 3 to 4 fisherman solutions in the office as a branch, because when you have those sharp kids, you're gonna want to take advantage of it. So, I know, Andrew, your budget's a little bit different, so I recommend signing up for the region program where they give you like a discount on all the fisherman solutions. They're gonna have something like a kickoff you can sign up for. All right, Sunday through Wednesday, Dwayne, PRs and rep driven.
There's a receptionist.
Yeah.
Monday.
PR call.
PR calling. Same thing on Monday. You do that in AT1. You have wait, that's a different section.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. Do you know how many rep driven you're gonna want to have on a Sunday?
How many hours calling?
Rep driven.
Oh, rep driven. Rep driven.
To
Okay.
He'll cover the standards, but it's usually double digits, if not at least. It's a summer, so you can probably get at least 10 rep driven. If you're by yourself, I would say at least 5 rep driven. So that way you can. So it's like 10, 10, 10. So the 3 rep driven days are Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Monday. I take it back. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. Yeah, Monday's advanced training. Yeah, exactly. Right, and then Blake, what do you do on Mondays? Advanced training for rep driven.
You just do the 1K credit. Anybody that wants to be who just signs just gets 1K towards the fast start credit.
Yep. And then do you know what specific now that with this program now, what are we doing differently on Monday in terms of rep driven?
What are we doing differently?
Yeah.
I just know that on Mondays you just while it's let's say whatever their phone gym or whatever, you get your top kids, and then you would probably set up steroids.
Yep, set up steroids. Set up steroids, and then Dwayne, what else? What do you want to do on advanced training? What's rep driven? What else? What else is another rep driven thing we do?
We just do the phone switch, not the phone switch, but the what is that?
Alley-oop.
Yeah, the alley-oop.
Yep. And then there's one more thing. Oh, 2 more things.
You can have the receptionist help out.
Yeah.
That should be a good. Let me see what else. Facebook. No.
Facebook.
Oh, the
Facebook?
Yeah, that.
Triple
the
threat.
Pictures.
Yeah. So yeah, you definitely want to do triple threat, and so Facebook, Snapchat, Insta chat, whatever it is.
Instagram.
I know. Right, and then we have these guys that just answered. So Sonimar, what was she doing every interview? You promote it when you talk about the office and when you do the post PRs. Yep, exactly. And then we have Alemi. For after team meeting, promote the team, the approach to the reps for alley-oops during the phone jam. I think he had team meeting. Yeah, and then Naya had after the team meeting. She just promote PR contest, set up servers. Yep. So after team meeting, if anything, you can do a pullback, but I just try to get everyone as many people as possible. So after team meeting, it's not really that much. Yeah, team that out, that too. What you can do sometimes is what I did as a branch is I think it was like 2, maybe 3 meetings. It was like the scavenger hunt one. It was the, what else did we do? Potluck. And I think I did a balloon fight. I told them to invite their friends to team it out. So I'm like, hey, not just you guys, invite your friends too. So whoever would come, I'd try to get at least one, if not as many people as possible on the team. A lot of my friends started working here because Kathy invited them to like an Olympics night or whatever. So any like really fun team night out you're gonna do, make it open invite to any of their friends, their boyfriends, their girlfriends, their best friends, whoever. And not only do you have more people, so it's more fun, but you recruit more.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
All
All right, so car rally. So people didn't do the car rally this year. I'm like, what the heck?
Some people was in
Why
other
not?
offices.
Yeah, other office. Did you guys do it?
Nah, Jordan knows how it was. I was like, car rally. He was like, explain it.
He didn't want to do it.
No one would explain
So
it.
much fun. It's great. All right, so we're moving on to first 10-day management. So it's in the same handout for those of you that aren't here right now. Same handout. It's the third one, systems checks, first 10-day management. So this is very important so that we can all make sure that we're on the same page. Let me zoom in here. All right, and that just happened. Okay. So first 10-day management. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we'll start with the assignments. Sonimar, you're gonna get AT2. Naya, you're gonna get AT1 to AT2. Number of names on the attack list, and then Alemi, you're gonna get AT1 to AT2, number of demos. All right, so we'll start with Dwayne, then we'll go to Blake, then we'll go to Andrew. So Dwayne, from day 1 to day 2, how many names do you want on the names list? Nope. Do you know?
Do I know yet? At least 30. Like
25.
Yeah, 25.
25. If you feel like you want to do 30, do 30. That's fine. But the FC standard is just 25.
Okay, FC said, because I know Tori, he made this, he just like get 40.
Yeah. Do you know why you don't want to have such a big number?
Because some people aren't really from here,
Mm-hmm.
and that can that can discourage them because they can't get it. There are just
Names and numbers. Names and numbers. Names, I mean, you want to average 100, but because you can get a bunch of names, you want numbers.
Yeah. So that's just going to kill their confidence.
Yeah. So Dwayne, do you know from day 2 to day 3, number of demos completed?
Day 3.
Oh, this doesn't make any sense.
Number of demos completed before
advanced training. But it says day 2 to day 3. I think he messed up because you don't complete any demos on day 2.
Unless it means the number of demos booked and then also number of demos completed.
Yeah, so anyway, do you know how many they need to complete by advanced training?
By advanced training?
Mm-hmm. That's what you want.
Yeah,
no one will get 5. Yeah, the assignment is 5.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that
So look,
one-
it's the same.
the first one was asking how many should they set up before, how many demos should they set up between day 2 and day 3 over the phone. And then day 3 to AT1, and how many demos should they complete. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So Andrew, after advanced training, up to AT2, what's the amount of demos that they need to complete?
I would say like 3 to 5, AT1 and AT2.
Yeah.
3 to
So
5.
it's 4. So exactly 3 to 5. And then if they miss the assignment, then it's 5. So let's see.
You're saying if they miss the weekend assignment?
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, if they miss the weekend assignment, you bump it to 5. But it's at least 4. So Sony Mars typing, okay. No one else has written yet. All right, so I'm looking for Sony Mar, Naya, and Lemmy. Sony Mar has AT2 today, 10 a fast start, number of demos completed. If you guys don't know, you can say that too. By the way, why do you think we want to focus on demos?
But why should we focus on that one?
In terms of why do you think the assignment is demos?
Oh, so that way you focus on the action, not the
Mhm.
results. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
keeps
want,
them confident.
and it's something that's very easily controlled, you know, and
Those have it too.
exactly. So if it's 5, 4, and then another, and then Sony Mars answered, it's at least 5 appointments booked at the phone jam, 30 recs, times 7. Okay. Yeah, you went nuts. I just meant the number of demos completed, but I might not have said it. I apologize. But yeah, yes, you are correct though. So you want at least 5 appointments after advanced training 2. They should be doing more, but
Yeah.
at least 5 to PSP. And that way they should be completing 15 appointments in their fast start, if not 14 appointments, right? So Naya doesn't know the amount of names on the attack list. Good thing I'm asking. You want at least, she's typing, I don't know, she might say something. Yeah, it's at least 50. So you want 50 names on the attack list. Blake and Dwayne, do you know how to promote that?
How to promote the names on the attack?
Yeah, how do you give the assignment for names list? I mean for attack list, excuse me.
And this is from AT1 to AT2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you kind of dive. This is when you're diving into their. Yeah, so you dive in with them. You see their numbers, and then from there he's like, okay, guys, so remember, the name stock that we did, first time. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Help you think of more people.
Exactly. So the first in advanced training, you're gonna get a it's the Kate Arbuthnot talk where you do another names list. But also explain to them on Wednesday, that's the most phone jam time that they'll ever have.
Mm-hmm.
Because up to this point in training, you gave them an hour on Friday, you gave them maybe 30, 45 minutes on Saturday, and they're gonna have 3 to 4 hours on Wednesday. So they're gonna need the names to back it up. So that's why if we're talking 10 to 20 calls an hour, if it's 20 calls an hour, you need 60 people. So that's why 50 is the number that we do. And then haven't gotten a Lemmy yet for the, but we kind of, I guess, answered that question. Sorry, Lemmy, we definitely answered the question that you were supposed to answer. So I apologize. Oh, look, he just wrote it. Yeah, he's 4 minutes behind. Cool. All right, so let's do this. Let me see if there's anything else we can knock out. I'm feeling we can just go to lunch because I'm feeling all kinds of hungry. Oh wait, we have to do the key conversations and then we'll do lunch. Okay. So for you guys, has Jeff covered how to run a kickoff meeting?
Sunday kickoff.
Yes, Sunday kickoff meeting.
That's my knowledge.
I don't think he has, so I'm just making sure. Right. So the kickoff meeting is just super important. I have a feeling at the kill meeting, I'm probably going to do a live kickoff meeting anyway, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you know, this is really where you have the time to address certain issues with your receptionists. So Andrew, in your office, how would you say scale from 1 to 5? You know, 5 being the best. How are you in terms of receptionists troubleshooting and having and addressing issues with them?
You said a scale from 1 to 5?
Yeah.
Like a 4, I guess.
4, so pretty decent.
Like there's definitely things I could have done better. I mean, I wasn't bad at it, but like there's definitely room for improvement this summer.
Okay. Cool. So in a group, for anything, not just receptions, for reps and all that stuff, you never really want to, yeah, you can single them out, but you got to do it a certain way. Yeah, because these are fragile little girls. I'm just kidding. They're confident people. They're sharp for sure. But you know, you don't want to make them feel awful. So when you're addressing certain results, what's the easiest way to address results?
The easiest way to address it?
You show them.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies, this is what every other office in the division did. This is what we did.
Yeah.
Right? And then who can tell me what do you think is the next step?
Is after you show them the results, like, okay, so you dive into how, you know, how they got those results.
Okay. More specific?
Yeah,
you're on the right track then?
Yeah, but specifically you can go towards let's say, you know, scheduled for you know, the interview.
Okay, you're going back off
Okay.
it. So you do want to dive in, but you want to have them dive in.
Oh, so you ask them.
So you ask
what do you
them.
think? What do you think?
What do you think happened?
Happened?
Yeah, and you get them to say it. Don't let them tell you it was the list. So they had a 15% PR show. Oh my God, it's just, my list was just awful. I'm like, really? Really? Tell me more, right? So I usually grab that list and call from it, and I'll schedule somebody. Like it's not the list, it's how do you sound. So so you want to address that as well. You always want to back it up with action, right? So this is how it happened. How are we going to fix it? And again, try to do it through questions. Will you ladies tell me what do you think is the best way to go about it? You know. So Jake Kuhn made a good point in his message. You want to stress the same point over and over and over and over again. Just because you taught someone something one time, are they going to retain that? No, not necessarily. You know, same is true for me, for you, for anyone here. Just because we've been taught it doesn't mean we've internalized it. So for receptionists, going over basic things over and over again, it can't hurt. You know, we spend over 20 hours training our reps. If the receptionists are the most important ones, you can spend 3 times that amount training them. You know, so in terms of throughout the week, what's the easiest way to address results with receptionists?
The week?
Yeah, so let's say 3:45 interview, they had a 30% non-PR show.
It's just a quick call. I was like, hey, how's it going in here? You know, you would just so you can be like, hey, I just saw like the show or whatever. I noticed it was a little off, but the good thing is there's still this.
Okay, so right answer when you're right on that.
Yeah.
You want to do it right away.
Yeah, right away.
So it's kind of like 1 minute manager. And then not only do you want to do it right away, but it's like, hey, I know you can do better.
Yeah, this is not you.
There's a lot more time for 6:15. So in terms of more specifics in case it happens like all the time, that I'm pretty sure is going to be covered in the kill meeting. They're going to go over how to have very specific conversations that we don't really have the time to cover right now. But you definitely want to address results right away. You also want to address positive results right away, right? It's not just about the negative because they can't take that. So you guys tell me what are positive ways to recognize your receptionist, not just after an interview, but like overall, like what are ways that you can get them excited and
how they're doing a great job of just like handling the desk. Like, hey, I overheard that last call you did was really solid. Did this, and that.
Yep.
So just how they follow the system,
mm-hmm.
and how you can just say like, hey, you're doing the right things.
Mm-hmm.
It could have just been, this or that's one way.
Okay. What else?
You can mention it in the kickoff meeting.
Yeah.
You can say things like, and you are on your numbers, you're at standard, and just like mention something positive to every single one of them in the meeting.
Okay. Very true. I would also introduce them in training.
Yeah.
Make sure the trainees know who they are.
Yeah.
And not only do they know who they are, but make sure that they know that they're the most important people. Right? Also, after training, be like, hey, I have these awesome PRs for you. Can't wait to call them. Right? Or just even at the end of the day, let's say you got out of your interview at 8:30, you can just text her real quick. I just signed unbelievable people. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. You're unbelievable. Hashtag receptionist rules. Right? Hashtag hash brown. Now, sharing team goals and recognizing them as being a vital part of it. Yep. And Andrew, you might want to do this too. What I'm doing this summer is I'm going to get, let's say I have 6 receptionists. I'm going to have like a column for them. I got this idea from the San Juan office. And based on the people that they bring onto the team and whatever CPO they shipped, I'm going to add it to like their thermometer kind of thing. So like,
that's a great idea.
Right? So it's like, Allison, you're responsible for $50,000 in sales. Thank you so much. And what's cool about that is that they get excited to be a part of where we are, and they get excited about scheduling good people.
Because they want to make sure they can.
Yeah, because I've had receptionists in the past that they'll schedule the easy lists, quote unquote, right? Which is the like the ghetto sketchy ones that they definitely need a job, but that I probably won't keep. So I think that's a great way to intertwine sales and receptionists, but then it shares their goal too. So
you can make it a contest too, and
oh yeah,
you can ever add like the most sales essentially. I like this point. You could do like you could do the end of summer, and I don't know, should be like in the skirt. You could do like 2 different time periods.
Yeah, that's true.
That could be a good way of
halfway through and then do it again. I don't know.
Yeah, you can definitely do that too. You can do so many things. But receptionists are. Yeah. I when I heard that, I'm like, woof, for sure. I'm jumping on that.
like a specific document of that?
No, it's on just draw it up. You can put it on a whiteboard. You can do construction paper. I mean,
that's a good way of like recording like who's in like the race for head receptionist too.
Yeah, that too.
Like that can be one of the.
Yeah, I recommend a whiteboard. That way you can just erase it and just write it again. It seems like the most low maintenance thing. So I feel like if you set yourself up where it's harder, you just won't do it. You won't keep it updated and stuff. So that's also going to force you guys to plan. That's the other thing I was going to mention. It's not on the agenda, but I recommend you want to have a planning session every single week, and you want to analyze your business. You want to analyze the numbers. So, everything from PR show to whatever sales they're generating to it's kind of like if you guys have been part of a staff meeting that I know I've done with you, we've done rep analysis. Andrew, have you done rep analysis before with Jeff or even with Carlos?
What do you mean by rep analysis?
So basically you go through every rep on the team and you figure out what their projections are for next week. Yeah. So do it. Perfect. So yeah, I would do that with in terms of your weekly planning. I would make that definitely part of the list, and then obviously you plan your meetings and whatnot. So I usually do that Saturday after training. I usually have a Saturday after training. You have about an hour of downtime before calls start coming in. So you can use that to eat, catch up on whatever you need to catch up on, and then you do a quick planning session real quick.
Question.
Yeah.
A little off topic, but do you recommend Saturday interviews?
I did a Saturday interview. I ended up turning it into a pre-screen because then I wasn't available to take my kids' calls.
It was just a pre-screen and schedule for.
Yeah.
And you found that to work.
Yeah. It worked. I even like pretended to look at my schedule. Like I had like a clipboard with like an imaginary schedule, and I was like, oh, let me see what I can do. Yeah. I'd have a lot of people show up to that one. Depends on your territory. If you have like a metro territory, which I guess Atlanta is, then you probably will. Alemi says, also introduce them to the reps. The receptionists know the people they scheduled. Yep, 100%. You want to watch out though, in case they start getting too friendly with each other, and you don't want the reps to distract your receptionist.
God, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to walk in there and be like, hey, stop stealing my money. Because they're stealing your money. So, cool.
I had a rep
Yeah.
this summer that, well, never mind. But anyway,
I knew what that was.
I already know what he's gonna say.
Anyways.
anyways, yeah, just, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's okay, but like, they hang out
Same
sometimes,
thing.
but, like,
Same thing.
when they're distracting and stuff, it's not helpful at all.
It ruins everything, yeah. It really does.
Just don't have your reps go into receptionist room.
No,
That's actually a good
Just
idea.
don't.
not at all.
Don't do it.
Off
Cool. So let's go over setting up rep driven, and then we'll go on lunch. So the rep driven conversations that you have is number 1, alley-oop. Number 2, steroid. Right? Do you guys know any of the other ones?
Okay, so
And then Facebook. Sorry, I just said it. It's taking too long.
so
I
you
realized
said-
as I asked you, I'm like,
Is
I'm just gonna
phone
answer the
switch still a
question.
thing?
Phone switch is still a thing. I still do it.
Yeah. You do just like talk, right?
Yeah, I do it all the time. So let's go
Your
over. So let's start with. So let's just do 3 main ones. Let's do. So you're talking to someone, you want to get them excited about the steroid. Then you want to get them to post Facebook statuses / message their top friends, and then you want to set up alley-oop. So Dwayne, why don't you do alley-oop? Blake, why don't you do Facebook messaging? And then Andrew, you wrap us up with the steroid. So Dwayne, take it away if you know how to go about it.
Go about doing an alley.
Yeah, so role play the conversation. So don't role play the call. Like let's say I'm the rep.
Okay.
How do you get me
To
to give you my to do the alley?
Okay. Well, first I would start about talking about how they're doing the job and everything, but it would be a top rep that I want to alley oop. So just like let them know that like they're doing a great job and that I need people like them on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would do is build a team around them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can have like, the top people and just surround themselves with a bunch of awesome people and be a lot more amazing to have them up there. So then after that, I would just say, do you happen to know what you want for a position, or who you think would actually rock at the job? And then
Okay. Yeah, sure. I have my friend Susie. She would be great.
Well, how about we go ahead and give her a call right now? Just get over the phone really quickly. Just tell them that you're here with your manager, and then go ahead and pass it over to me, and I'll go ahead and set up for an interview. And
So I
then,
just say I'm here with a manager, and I just give you the phone.
hey, Susie.
I'm telling you, you gotta lay it
you
out.
gotta know.
Like start like, how are you? Like have a conversation and then say, hey, I'm at work right now. I'm actually sitting with my manager. I can go ahead and pass you the phone. You can go ahead and talk to you a little bit more about the position, and then just pass it over.
Okay.
And then also while doing that, if there's something fast start, mention how they can still get the $1,000 credit, and then tie that into.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a lot easier to sell if you had more credit go to show. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot easier for you.
What I recommend too is you want to say how bring proof, right? So bring their list
Of how of the people
of
that
whatever.
would
Be like, none of these people
None were
answered, and then you say, so let's say you go that route. Like, do you know
So it's like, okay, so it's like, hey, just so you know, you gave us like 100 people, and of those 100, we only scheduled like 10. Right? So it's like, that's great, by the way. Like, yeah, we only scheduled 10, right? But you have to understand, like, when a random number, calls you, do you answer it? No, exactly. So it's the same thing with this. So the receptionist, did a good job, but the thing is, they'll only answer it if you answer. Or the only answer if you call.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The water gets to me. So the only it spiked it. Anyway, so the only answer if you call. So and then you just go into that.
Into what he said. Exactly. Yeah. So you go that you want to show them proof and be like, hey, why don't you call? But then the ones you want to have them call are the top ones.
5. Yeah. So your butt kickers.
Which when did you already get that list?
You already got that list on. Wait. You already got that from.
Day 3.
Yeah,
day 3 of training.
Yeah.
So you do the PR app, and then you get top 20 butt kickers.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So what I recommend too is what Kathy did. Is what I'm gonna do as well. You print out, or you can even write it on the board or have it on the TV. What they say to their friends.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm the manager right now. We're actually hiring a few people for the team. Do you have a quick minute? And just pass it over. Like, it's literally short.
Also, with their top 20 butt kickers, you just give those to receptionists. Would you just call them?
I call those.
Okay, that's what
I always call those. Yeah. That's my steroid list that I do.
Do you recommend doing steroids? If you're alley-ooping them, do you alley-oop them to a steroid or
Depends.
Depends
on the person. If you feel like after talking to me, you're like, this person's great. Steroid. You can do virtual. You're good. All right. Blake.
All right.
How do you get me to
Facebook?
Post on Facebook.
Okay. What day is it?
Team meeting.
Okay, team. Right. Okay, so let's say they're still in their fast start. I'm just gonna put that in there. So it's like, okay, so it's like, hey, Karina, real quick, come here. So it's like, so I know you're so far at 3K in sales, and I know you have about so far 5K in price credit, right? So check this out. Now with the people that you gave me on your list, right? I know you gave me a solid amount, and obviously only a certain amount, answered. But get this: how many people on your phone do you have or how many people do you have on Facebook? How many friends on Facebook do you have? Roughly?
All right, stop. You're making it too complicated.
Yeah, I feel like
literally. Hey, Dwayne, come here real quick. Can you log on Facebook for me?
Oh, that's it. Sure.
Cool. Great. Watch. I'm gonna write something. Tell me if it's cool. Cool. Hey, is that cool if we post that? Awesome. Great. Okay, cool. Anyone that replies, just get their number and then give that to me.
That's all I do. I was gonna do okay, whatever.
I literally just do that. I don't even, and they they never question me. I'm like, hey, log on to Facebook real quick. I don't even ask. I'm like, hey, log on, and they just log on, and it's not that bad. Now to get them to message, that you do need to ask a little bit more.
Okay.
So it's like, hey, real quick, go through your list. Who on here haven't we contacted, but we're really, really good. I'll teach you how you can message them.
Okay.
Right, and then you want to remind them with the different prizes that we have. But yeah, don't make it a big deal. They'll do whatever you say. You're their boss. They'll do it. So anyway, all right. So Andrew, I asked you to do the steroid, but do you know how to get people excited to do the steroid program? I don't know if you've had practice doing that before.
Yeah, I did a bunch of summer.
Great.
Look, is that on a specific day or just like anytime?
Anytime.
It's like, hey man, yeah. So I know you're really excited about this content and strip or whatever your promotions are, blah blah blah. I'm excited. Or you're getting this extra credit for your fast start contest. So let me ask you, man, like off the top of your head, like, are there any people, or who do you know that would just like absolutely kill it at this job? Like, who do you know that would this job would be like super easy for them? They do a great job that we like haven't contacted yet, or maybe we did contact them and we like didn't get a hold of them, or maybe like they weren't really interested in coming in for like a regular interview. Like, who do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah.
Then people say, okay, cool, dude. But let me tell you. So this is what we can like do, and what I'm willing to do with you. And just set up is we can do something we call I don't know if you guys used to say like a steroid interview. So I'll literally just sit down with like you and your boy.
I just call it a one-on-one when I tell them.
Yeah, we'll do like a one-on-one. Yeah. we'll do like a one-on-one interview, and I'll just sit down with you, and we can really even do it over Skype, if that works better for them. And like, it will be pretty informal. I can just give them the details of the position, and that way I know everything that's going on. I'll get them fired up, and it'll be really informal and relaxed thing, so that we can get them on board and on the, I don't really know.
Yeah.
So get them on board on the team. At least give them the details. So who do you know on the top of your head? Just set it up. It's like, here's a text. What's their number right now? You can just go ahead and, there's different ways I guess to do it.
Yeah.
You can like text them in a group text or do whatever.
Yeah.
Set it up or do the Starbucks version.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the virtual version because I feel like when you don't have a lot of time, it's a pain in the ass to like go somewhere else, wait there. What if they don't show up? You just wasted your time, So I love the virtual. I even had some steroids come to me, like they just come to the office if they live fairly close.
I wasn't a big fan of the virtual at first because I didn't think it worked and stuff, but then I saw like everyone pretty much got.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's just the only reason why it's awkward is because I have to hold up the pay like to the camera.
Oh, yeah.
It's like so weird for me. I have to like you see that the 10%, right? They're no longer at 10%.
Yeah, can you just have to write it down
up to the camera?
Yeah, I hold up. Because I don't know any other way to do it. What I take it back. Recently, I've been what?
Let's just have it read.
Yeah, just write it down.
Like sit and just write down everything and like walk through it slowly.
Yeah, I've done that too. I've also emailed the like a screenshot of it. That's been like lately.
Yeah, sure.
It's like more high tech. I'm like, are you by your computer? They're like, yeah. I'm like, great. I'm gonna email it to you. I'm like, all right, you see this? You see this? And I do that too. But before, like when I didn't know, I would hold it up to the camera. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah, so then phrases, and that's pretty much on point, Andrew. What I would add to that, I would say things like, hey, who do you know that would be amazing but is super skeptical of working here, or like thinks it's a scam, or like doesn't want to do it, but like would kick butt, that's another one too. I also say I'll give them the Cliff Note version. It'll take about 20-30 minutes. It really just depends on how many questions they have, and et cetera, et cetera. So what I recommend in your branch, in my district, I remember getting a late start to this because I didn't have anyone initially that kicked ass. Like it just didn't happen. So I was kind of like waiting for the perfect rep to steroid, when in reality, like you can just steroid anybody. So let's say it's just an average rep, it's fine. Just steroid them too, and you don't necessarily need. You would just take out the examples of like, oh, how much did you do your first weekend? Yeah. If they did $100, don't freaking ask them how much they did their first weekend. Like just have them there as like an example, I guess. There's someone that likes the job. That's all you really need. And then eventually you'll get that person that made $100 to $400 their first weekend, if not more, and then kind of take it from there. But as a branch, you want to get on that program as soon as possible. So any questions on anything before we go on lunch? Great. So it's 12:20 right now. Andrew, do you need to go get food? Because I know we do over here. And do you have food in front of you?
Yeah, probably gonna go get food.
You need to go out and get food. Okay.
What time are you guys getting back on? Because I might have to do the.
Okay.
I might have to do it like.
Yeah.
How long is the break?
Well, let me see what we're going to cover on the break, because if anything. All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast because this will be